First story. Entitled Mom Outed We Aren't Her Real Kids Out of Anger. Revealing she stole me and my twin from my biological mom, using her power and influence. Then just disowned us for wanting to meet our mom. So we too cut ties with her, met our mom, and reconciled with her. Now that whole extended family blames us for abandoning the family that feeds us, like my biological dad. We were arguing, and my mom said something like, "I should have left you too with that slur for indigenous people." She tried to cover it up after, but the cat was out of the bag, and my twin brother asked her what she meant. They stalled a little, but eventually they said that a childhood friend of theirs had strayed from religion, led an improper life, married an indigenous girl from a village nearby, and got her pregnant. Their friend died, and my parents thought that the girl wasn't fit for raising a child and basically just threatened her into giving us over. We have always been a bit darker than the rest of our siblings and have different features. But that was not objectively proof of anything because my dad has a non-white mother, and they always said that we had just inherited it from that side. My mom always just joked that we came out of the oven a little burned. I know we should have caught on, but it just didn't even cross our minds. I don't know how to feel. My mom says that my biological mother was probably a bad mom anyways, because nothing in the world could ever make her give away her children. But my parents admit to threatening her over months with legal action, and something else that they refuse to tell us. And my parents are pretty important people, so I don't blame our biological mom. They also said that they wanted more children, but were told they couldn't have any more, so we were a miracle and God's present for them. They say that our bio mom used to send us presents every year on our birthday until 7, and that they eventually told her they would get a restraining order if she continued, so she stopped. The argument escalated, and they kicked us out basically. She told us to find our bio mom if we were so hung up on it. I guess they are still my parents because they raised me, but I think they did a pretty terrible thing. I don't know if we'll try to find our bio mom. I don't even know if we can find her, and if we could, I don't even know what we would say. My twin brother wants to find her, but is afraid she won't want to see us or don't recognize us. We don't even know if she's alive. Sorry if this doesn't make sense. I'm just rambling at this point. Comments. Gani baby thoughts. That's a terrible way to find out a very big secret. You don't have to make any decisions about what to do next until you are ready. It sounds like your bio mom really wanted to be in your life, and hopefully she still would want the same thing if you chose it. As for your adoptive parents, maybe it's best to take a break from contacting them for a bit while you sort this out in your own mind. OP. Yes, I wish they had just been honest and told us we were adopted from the get-go, because this is making me spiral over every interaction we've had. I hope she wants to. My brother thinks that we should go over to the village and ask around for her. And yeah, I know they raised me and all, but I really don't want to talk to them for the moment. I have always been heavily dependent on them, but now I really feel like I need a break. Planet_Smasher. This is absolutely horrible. It sounds like your biological mom loved you and wanted to be in your life, but your parents prevented it. I hope you can find her. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear from you. OP. I hope she does. I'm very curious about her. Gamonite Cat. Is the nearby village primarily indigenous people? If you want to try and find her, you could ask around there. I'm sure that if she tried hard to connect with you, people in her community would know the story and know who she is. OP. Yes, it is a village of only, or at least mostly indigenous people. Update. I wanted to give an update since this sub helped me last time. Sorry if this post is confusing. We found our bio mom. My brother's idea worked. We went to the village and asked around, and a lot of people knew about the twins that were taken away. They took us to our biological mom pretty quickly. We were afraid she wouldn't believe us and had brought all the evidence we could find to prove ourselves. But in the end, as soon as we started explaining, she hugged us and started sobbing. I admit we got emotional too, and it took a while for us to calm down. She's a lot younger than our adoptive parents, 37, and she's very pretty too. She has a nice hug and is very comforting to talk to. We are not calling her mom. I don't know if we'll ever get to that stage since obviously she couldn't experience us during our growing years. But we agreed that we wanted a relationship. She showed us a picture of our bio dad, and we talked about the situation. It was pretty clear that it was a hard topic for her, so we didn't press too much. I think in the future it would be nice to get all the details, but for now I'm happy with what she could share. My biological dad's family had been working for my adoptive father's family for a long time, and my biological dad didn't want that future for himself. So she met him while he was running away from the town, ironically. Just what we were planning to do and what started this whole mess. They fell in love, and bio dad came to live with her. He had cut contact with everyone, but my adoptive father and grandfather didn't accept it and kept appearing on the village, trying to convince him to come back. Bio dad went missing, and then our adoptive family started harassing and threatening her. They even came when she went to the hospital to birth us. She swears she didn't want to give us up, but that they threatened to harm not only her, but the entire village if she didn't do as they say. After we got taken away, she went into a deep depression. She says she felt like a failure of a mother, and that she couldn't protect our biological dad's legacy. It was clearly getting a bit hard for her, so we changed the subject. When she learned that we had been kicked out, she said that we could come live in the village until we could find a place to stay if we wanted to. We accepted the offer since we needed the help. We won't overstay our welcome, but we are very grateful for it. We are staying at her house, and it's kind of nice. The culture is very different from what we are used to, but everyone has been really kind and really welcoming. Bio mom suggested that maybe me and my brother should go into therapy, and I think that would be helpful. As for my adoptive family, our only contact with our parents resulted in them saying that we were ungrateful bastards and basically insulting us the whole time. Siblings have blocked us, and our older sister has made a post on social media saying that we are horrible for abandoning the family and that we don't care about our nieces and nephews. The rest of the extended family and a lot of people from the town have either blocked us or sent us ugly messages. I feel really bad about it, but at the same time I can't ignore that they did a horrible thing. Furthermore, I'm now starting to realize that some aspects of our upbringing were very wrong. I want distance from them, at least for the moment. That's it. I'm still confused, and not everything is solved, but I feel like there's a light on the end of the tunnel at least. My world has turned upside down, but I'm thankful that at least I had my brother to ride this wave with me. Comments. Madam M88. Can you not go to the police and report them? Surely what they did is super illegal in your country. I'd even go to the newspapers. Get your story out there and get justice for yourselves and your real mom. These psychos need to be exposed and punished. They're not your family. They were your kidnappers. They shouldn't be allowed to get away with this. Do you not wonder what other disgusting things they might have done? I'd urge you to do what it takes to bring them down. Your real family and a village of lovely people will always be in uncertainty, while these criminals are free to do as they please. I'm so angry for you and your poor mom. OP. To be honest, I think we are still too terrified of them to do it. I don't know how to explain, but they are influential and have a way of getting what they want always. I remember that when we were little, my brother tried to go to the police to report our adoptive dad for something unrelated, and our dad outright said, "I control the police." Even though that statement was probably not 100% true, it stayed with me. I'm already preparing for the consequences if they decide to react to this. I can't even imagine how much worse it would be if we tried to come for their reputation. I know it sounds silly, but we have been raised by these people to never question them and fear them always, and I feel like we are still under that. It's kind of a mental block. Even though it doesn't make sense, we still have it. Maybe someday we'll get the strength to do it, but even the idea of doing it seems impossible right now. The underscore world is underscore ending. So glad you were able to find your real mom. Your kidnappers are horrible people to have stolen you from your mom. They don't deserve to be called parents, and it sounds like the rest of your extended family is also crap. Do they know what your parents did? You might want to let them know about your parents' deeds. It's probably best if you, your brother, and your mother all get some therapy after this traumatic ordeal. OP. I don't have any idea if the extended family knows exactly what my parents did or what version of the events they told them. They blocked us before we could really try to explain our side, but I don't think they would believe us anyway. Second story. Cheating husband abused, neglected OP, thinking she would be submissive like she always is to be with his affair partner, not realizing she got help from Reddit, who then exposed their affair, divorced his narcissistic arse, and took all the finances and their baby. I have known my husband for almost 15 years. I found out he cheated on me during my pregnancy first child. Classic Limerence case where he rewrites history into the version he believed, in which he was never happy, where I have been a bad wife since day one, sees the other woman as perfection, and the only one who could make him happy, refuses to go therapy. He expects perfection from me, which I believed because he is looking for justifications for his cheating and reasons to leave me should I slip up even a little. I am devastated and feel self-harming, and people around me started to notice and say I look like a dead person. He doesn't care about the damage he did and is doing to my health and mental health and to the baby. My husband was scared of people finding out I'm pregnant because he wants people to think the best of him and not the scumbag who cheated on his pregnant wife. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. People were also starting to notice his behavior, not because I broadcast any of our private matters. But he always blames it on me, like when I am sick and look sad, or blames it on me telling people about us, which I don't. In truth, people knew because he showed it himself when he met the other woman indiscreetly, how he abandoned his husband's duties, and when they saw me doing things by myself with my growing belly. The man I knew and married was someone with high morals and loved me sincerely. A man whose dreams are to have children with me. But now he just wants to abandon me and the baby and run with his mistress, without caring about what this means in reality to himself and others, financially wise, society-wise, family-wise, logistic-wise. You get it. I tried asking if he felt any shred of remorse or guilt, but he said he doesn't because he isn't wrong to fall and be in love. He has since broken up with the mistress, but still makes efforts to contact her, hoping she will fight for him back. She knew well he was married, talked bad about me with my husband when he twists stories about me being a bad wife, and also had no remorse for having the affair. Unfortunately, she is also still happily receiving any attention or contact my husband gives her post-breakup. Our lives were just starting to improve when this happened, income-wise, new baby, etc. We have a good life, but he feels like he is in a beautiful prison where he feels super unhappy. However, with work now, he is also putting his job at risk because he keeps being distracted by his affair and how he can get away with it. Again, he blames it on me because my existence is stopping him from reaching his beautiful dreams. I have tried being the best wife to let him have options to still come back and change, because if I were to close the door, he would take the easy way out by claiming that he only had the option to run with his mistress. Since doing my own research and knowing that he is undergoing limerence, I'm staying because sadly I still love him and don't want for our child to have a broken family. And knowing limerence is a state of the mind like it's on drugs addiction. He would come to his senses one day, but I'm afraid that by then he would have done more things that will make it impossible for me to take him back. Obviously, I am very much heartbroken, mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausted on top of dealing with my pregnancy symptoms due to his treatment of me. He has said all the worst things imaginable, ranging from sexual nature, comparing me and his mistress, to saying his problems will go away if I just die and stop being a hindrance to his dreams. To even wish that I never got pregnant in the first place. I am not staying due to financial reasons, because I am the higher earning partner and owner of all the assets we own, because I am the one paying for it all. One would say leave him since I am not the one who will be losing it all. I have the money, house, car, child, and family support. But I don't know if it's too premature to decide this, or to wait and see a little longer. It has only been a few months since the cheating, finding out, negotiating way forward. He is staying for the baby, but hasn't been showing any care or concerns about the baby, and pretends it doesn't exist most of the time, while he's busy sulking or brooding about his sad predicament of not getting away with whatever he wanted to do. Again, I'd reiterate that if I am the one who chooses to leave him, it will be me who chooses the path for him too, by giving him only one option, which is to leave too, and to choose his mistress. I can elaborate more, but it's a very typical cheating story where the cheating partner is in love with the other woman and living in fantasy, while expecting things to turn out the best for them both, and forgetting their legal, loyal, and long-term partner existed. Has anyone successfully gone through the same case, where their partner finally snaps out of their limerence? If yes, how did you, the betrayed partner, do it? Was there any external help? How did you treat your cheating partner while working the marriage? And how long did it take for them to come to their senses? If they did. Update. Over a year later. Did not reconcile, but my feelings have changed after discovering more. Firstly, I want to say I am in a much better place. When I wrote my last post, I was blindsided by his sudden changes and betrayal. So I still had feelings for him, and I clung to any hope or chance that we could reconcile. I have kicked my cheater husband out of my house and life. For months, he lied about already breaking up with a fair partner when they never did. And I kept finding out that he met her at work or somewhere. Saw no improvement in his treatment of me. In fact, it got worse. The emotional abuse and gaslighting were daily. He even wished I would miscarry and die. He threatened to physically harm me if he was angry enough. He refuses to contribute to any baby preparation and keeps treating me like a nuisance. He does not care for our newborn either. I gave birth a few months ago, but he neglected both of us and only uses the baby to make himself look good in front of his family. He Skypes them holding the baby when he ignores the baby any other time. He kept stringing me along, saying he was trying to find the perfect time to apologize, and kept going out all day or treating his phone like Fort Knox. He kept assuring me that he was done with a fair partner, but it turns out he was just manipulating me so that he could still stay in the house that I am paying for, and so that I do not confront a fair partner or expose him to our families and friends. I offered him multiple times to leave me properly and chase after a fair partner, but he refused to and claimed that he chose our baby lies. When I felt that I had given him enough chances and time to reconcile, I confronted him, but he lied to my face. I decided to look for evidence to confirm my suspicions and to back up my decision to kick him out to his family. I found everything, and it was the easiest decision as all feelings I had for him disappeared. I have gotten the support of my family and his. I am content with giving it many chances since I will not look back and think that I should have. It took me over a year to really know that there was no hope for reconciliation. All assets are under my name. I am financially stable and have been the one who provides for him. There will not be any fights over finances or custody. My country's law does not require me to pay him any child support, nor will it grant him custody. Since husband does not carry his load in the house, nor participate in baby care, his absence has not impacted my life much in this area. I am in the process of filing for divorce. I am sad, but at the same time happier somehow without the desperation I felt before to get him back, and without the constant gaslighting and suspicion of being lied to. I confronted a fair partner through text since COVID, so I don't want to see her in person, but she is too scared to reply to me. My soon-to-be ex-husband's family doesn't accept a fair partner, and will never do since they are very conservative people and care a lot about their reputation. Husband is nothing without his family, and will not be able to abandon them for a fair partner, though he probably lies to her, saying he will do anything for her. I don't really care if they end up together too, since he will treat her the same way as he did me. I only know after he cheated that my husband has narcissistic personality disorder and a Madelung complex. Definitely will not be taking him back. I never take back any ex. But also because I have friends who have fathers like this, and they have suffered during childhood and hate their own father. I do not wish for my child to go through the same thing. I found strength in my child, and the support from my family and friends really helped me. I do have PTSD, but it has improved ever since I don't value him anymore. I know what you're thinking. Why did I stay so long, even though he was abusive, and I am not financially dependent on him? It was the lingering love I had for him, or more like the person he pretended to be before he cheated. I wanted to give it all the chance I got for myself and my baby to have a happy family. I did, and like I said, I'm satisfied with my efforts, as are other people, because no one can blame me for not trying anymore, and they couldn't make excuses for him anymore. I have many happy days with my baby. The joy of being a mother outweighs the sorrow of my failed marriage. I have moved on. For my husband and a fair partner, it's consequences time. Enjoy. Third story. My so-called high moral girlfriend, who looks down on people who cheat, had been cheating on me for 3 years with our coworker, calling him a father figure, and lied at every opportunity, so I exposed their affair and broke up with her. This is a long one. Background. Had been with XGF for 4 years. 2 years into the relationship, I help her get a job within one of the departments in the company I work with, as she hated her last job and it had unsociable hours. We are in different buildings. I wanted to move to her building, but my work was such that I had to stay at another location for security reasons. I work in the legal sector. She likes her team. Everyone is her age, bar one guy who she said was the same age as her father. So she claimed to have seen him as a father figure. We shall call him M. XGF and M strike a friendship, for which she gets the cold treatment from her team. She tells me about it, and how she finds it disgusting that the team makes up rumors and doesn't talk to her because she is friends with him. She sees M as a father figure, so I believe all she tells me. Every year on her birthday, we would celebrate together on the day by going away to another city in the UK. For the past year, I had been asking my GF to go on holiday together, as we had been staying around the UK on various occasions, and just wanted to go abroad with her. She says she doesn't want to go abroad with a male until after marriage. We were in the long run, marriage and all, so I thought. So I said okay. I was planning to propose to her during Christmas that year. Come summertime, I am called away to a country in mainland Europe for business purposes. It's for 2 weeks, and my assistant books everything for me. I ask my ex-girlfriend if she would like to join me, and she gives the same answer as before, and I try to explain how we go everywhere, and it is no different. But she says what will she tell her family, and how will she show them photos of us? Her family didn't know she was dating. She claimed to be from a strict South Asian family, so I leave it at that. While I am there, I try to call her, but she doesn't answer. Then she messages me, saying she is with her friends. So I leave her to it. Then she calls me, but I hear a guy's voice, and she tells me it's the TV, and she needed time away from her family and booked a hotel for the night. She did get into fights with her sisters and mother a lot, but usually stayed in her room. I think nothing of it again, but her communication had dropped considerably on that night, and a few days during the time I was away. I thought she was just busy, so I didn't think much of it. Then, a few months later, it's her birthday, and she knows we spend it together. She tells me not to book anything for the day and do it beforehand, as she is planning to go to Bournemouth with her cousin female on her birthday. Her cousin is going through a rough time and needs a break, so that's why they are going. And she tells me she won't be taking many photos because her cousin doesn't like taking photos. Bear in mind, this girl took a photo at every opportunity. This was at the height of Snapchat. I believe her again. Some of you may be thinking, why didn't we celebrate after they came back? I was due to go away for work 2 days after her birthday, for 4 weeks in the Middle East. From my last trip to now, she has been acting quite distant and claiming she was too tired from work and didn't like talking or texting as much and just wanted to sleep. She would refuse to meet for lunch, claiming she was down on her hours, and again, I believed her. Now I decided to postpone the proposal to the summer, as she did enjoy the summer more than the winter, and she liked the sea. Come Christmas, we had been planning to watch a film together. She claimed to have turned down certain colleagues because she wanted to watch it with me, so we agreed to a day in December. I went to watch a football game at the ground. I texted her on my way there and after the game, but did not get a response until I got home 2-hour one-way trip, claiming she was busy with guests at home, etc. A few days later, I bump into a friend, and he asks me what I thought of the film that day, the day I went to watch the football. I am puzzled and ask him to clarify. He tells me he saw my ex-girlfriend at the cinema with a bloke he had his back and assumed it was me. By the way, this was the film we agreed to watch together. It had bad reviews, but one thing about the ex-girlfriend is that she likes to watch the film regardless of the reviews. So I messaged her and asked her to watch the film the next day. Now comes the first sign that slowly opened my eyes. She says it has bad reviews and doesn't want to watch it. Then I confront her about being seen, and she tells me she went with the whole team, but she was by a drink and M was waiting with her. He must have seen M, as I believed she saw M as a father figure. I thought nothing of it. Then fast forward a few more days, and another guy bumps into me and asks how I found a particular Michelin-starred restaurant. I had never been to this place, so I tell him he had mistaken someone for me. He said he was sure it was me. He saw my ex-girlfriend sitting there with a guy. So this time I confront her, and she tells me she went with her friends, and one friend brought her husband with her. That's who he must have seen, as his friends were probably powdering their noses. I believe her again. I meet a guy who works in her office, and he knows we are dating, by the way. She hadn't told anyone in her office she was dating someone. Only a handful of people who I knew outside of work and worked with her knew. She tells me to be careful because my ex-girlfriend is spending a lot of time with me. They come to work together, have lunch together, and leave work together. I tell him it's nothing. They're good friends, and she sees him as a father figure. For the next few months, she seems to be spending a lot of time at one of her friends' houses, but I think nothing of it. Her communication drops, claiming she is just busy, etc. One day we go out and take her car. I try to connect my phone and see M's phone name appear. I ask her, and she claims she only gave him a lift once, and it automatically connected to her car. I believed her while trying to connect my phone. Now that I think back, I should have clocked on straight away. That's not the truth. Fast forward to the summer. She tells me she is going away with her school friend for her birthday, but not on the day. She also wants me, as last year, to do something a day before or after, but not on her birthday, because she is spending it with family at home. So I go out my way and book her things she has on her bucket list. She also tells me she won't be taking photos on this trip, because her friend is in a rough place and doesn't like photos. As she doesn't speak to me much, I don't get time to tell her of my upcoming trip. She had told me the dates of her initial trip, but had to cancel it because, I quote, too many people in the office knew she was going away. I didn't understand what she meant, but it all adds up in the end. She loses out on her initial flight and has to book again. She makes a rookie mistake when planning what she is doing on her birthday. She used a joint hotel booking account to book a hotel for 2 people in our city on her birthday, and specifically request a double bed. By this time, I had become suspicious when I saw this because of what she said she would be doing. So I made a mental note of this and made a note of when it was no longer free to cancel. I was aware there was a mutual friend who was telling her of anything I did if this mutual friend knew my ex-girlfriend was going to similar places as me, but not with me. So on the day, I made sure to put up a Snapchat story visible only to my ex-girlfriend and the mutual friend, stating I was going to the same place as the hotel she booked. I drive home after putting up this on Snapchat. Within 5 minutes, the hotel booking is cancelled, and surprisingly, the only person that viewed my story was the mutual friend. The best thing was my ex-girlfriend lost all her money for the booking as it was beyond the free cancellation period. Still didn't have enough concrete evidence to prove she was cheating. So I leave it at that, knowing I have hurt her financially, as she did complain about not having enough money. I am at the airport walking into my check-in. And who do I see checking in? My ex-girlfriend with him. She sees me, but I just make my way to check-in. She tries to get to me, but can't as it was business class only. Then she tries to look for me at the terminal, but I am in the lounge looking at her running around. I send her a message saying it's over. She tried to say M just hitched a ride, and he is going on a stag. Which person goes on a stag and doesn't even meet them at departures or in the terminal? Claims her friend will be flying from Manchester. What is the point of going on holiday with a friend if she is not flying with you? This is where it gets interesting. I check the hotel booking account and see a booking made under her name for a twin, double room, but specifically requesting a double bed for 2 people. I could have cancelled it, but I left her to it. After we come back, she begs to meet up, tries to explain she didn't go with him, and makes up more lies, but I pick out all the holes in her story. Then later, she tries to send screenshots of messages from her friend when they arrived at the holiday destination, but refuses to show the dates and timestamps. You can easily change the name of the contact. She gets her sister to send the messages. Then she claimed she accidentally deleted the messages and couldn't show the timestamp. It all made sense why she did not want to take photos. Then I met friends who worked in the same office. They told me this was the second time they were on leave for the same amount of days, and they both went to Bournemouth together. They always had lunch together. They were caught kissing, so had to be moved on to different floors. Yet she did not want me to come have lunch with her, because 1, she did not have much time, and 2, she did not want anyone to know she was in a relationship. I later learned she used to go to his house a lot. So when I did some cross-referencing, and realized those were the days she claimed to be at her school friend's house, female. Another thing, post the Christmas movie fiasco. She bought an All Saints men's jacket again from a mutual account, and I thought it was for me. We all know these jackets don't come cheap, but I never saw that jacket until I caught her at the airport with M, who was wearing it. What did I get that year? Nothing. She paid for everything: food, holidays, trips around the UK, cinema. M was living the life. I did ask her if she was disgusted by herself claiming M was a father figure. She denied ever saying that, but I can recall every time she said it, and so can a few other people. What hurt the most was she had been claiming to be loyal all those years and looking down on guys and girls who cheated on their partners, but was doing the same thing herself. What she doesn't realize is that this has affected me quite badly. I cannot trust anyone. I do not want a relationship again. I feel I will be cheated on. I am slowly recovering, but it is difficult. After catching her, I got into a deep depression and almost lost touch with everyone. Sorry for the long post, but I tried to just include the main events. By the way, she was 28 and he was 52. I know they went back on holiday to the same place the following year. Before she got caught, she managed to get my help with another job application, as her relationship was known in the whole office, and she thought she should leave before I found out. I wish I did not help her the second time around. Comments. Insaneg22. Hope you ghosted her and reported M to HR. If he is married, share the pain. OP. I did ghost her and managed to get out of that office after being headhunted. I made sure HR knew about it. Last I heard, they moved them to different floors and made them take some training. Hatting darkness. Now that I think back, I should have clocked on straight away. It's not the truth. I think Inspector Clauso would have clocked on before this. Go back and count the number of times you said, I didn't think much of it. I left it at that, so I believed her, or so I believe all she tells me. It's a shocking amount. Look, I realize this is an advice sub, but there's no way you can be just given advice without a major criticism. If this post is real, then you may be the most gullible human being to have ever posted on Reddit. And trust me, that's saying something. The advice is that this experience will teach you to accept 0 of those red flags with the next person. In fact, what you consider the negative from it, I can't trust anyone now, I think is the actual silver lining. Good luck. OP. I was extremely gullible. It's a massive lesson learned. Okay, add 2109. G. Let's get an update on your XW. OP. Last I heard, she left my former office and got a job elsewhere. M still works there, and they went away again on holiday. She lost many friends over this, and that mutual friend has been ghosted by many for being an accessory to the WS actions. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.